Hey, it's CVV, Chris Van Vliet, and you have to check out the fastest rising podcast in all of professional wrestling. I'm talking about the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. If you're looking for pay-per-view predictions, if you're looking for pay-per-view reviews, if you're looking for interviews, check out the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast.
Crash and Burn! We are back with another episode of the fastest rising podcast in professional wrestling, the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. We shall get some hype up in here. Woo! And this is a Sunday edition because Wyatt's back from a show and he requested to do the 19th edition of Mania, which took place on March 30th, 2003. Before we get to the match card, let's bring him in.
What's up, y'all? This is Wyatt, back on the fastest rising podcast, professional wrestling, the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast, a future wrestler right here.
Future wrestler, yeah.
Let's go back to something that happened when I was like only 1 year old.
WrestleMania
19. The 19th annual, which held at 54,097 fans, that took place in Seattle, Washington. But I know Jason Mess didn't mention that, but I know this was a very great card. A lot of matches had some very edgy storylines. I mean, a lot of the matches really killed it that night. I mean, I thought it was a great WrestleMania, so definitely one that I had in the books to review.
Let's get to the match card of the 19th edition of WrestleMania.
Okay.
So, I guess we get to the one that broadcasted on Sunday Night Heat, if you want, because it wasn't really on the pre-show.
It was more like the pre-show.
Chief Morley and Lance Storm, accompanied by the Dudley Boys, defeated Kane and RVD. It was for the World Tag Team titles, so go ahead.
I don't even know why that match even happened on the pre-show. Like, why would you have Kane and RVD on the pre-show? Like, that should have been on the main card, in my opinion. I still thought it was a great... I mean, I saw some clips of it. Like, it did look like a great match, but it looked like the Dudley Boys helped Lance Storm and his partner win the match, which was kind of effed over. But, I mean, if Kane or RVD won that match, that would have been great. But, I mean, it didn't mind me either way. But, I mean, having Kane and RVD on every show and the Dudley Boys, no. I mean, that would have been a match to put on the main card.
I'm going to pass on this match because I did not see it.
Right.
So, the pyro hits, and we have started the show. So, let's get going. Matt Hardy defeated Rey Mysterio for the Cruiserweight Championship. The WWE Cruiserweight Championship. So, and no, it's not 205 Live stuff. It's the old Cruiserweight title.
The true Cruiserweight title.
Yeah, the true Cruiserweight title. So, I mean, it's a nice short match to start off the show, so I enjoyed it. I liked it. Go ahead.
It was a really nice match. I do remember Matt Hardy version 1. You forgot, Jason. Matt Hardy version 1.
Matt Hardy version 1.
You know, he did have a stable at the time with Shannon Moore and someone else. But if you remember who the other person was, leave in the comments. I remember his match against Rey Mysterio. I actually thought Rey Mysterio actually won that match, but no, he didn't. But Matt Hardy had to lose weight to hit 220 to be in the Cruiserweight division because that was the limit. But I mean, Rey Mysterio was pretty much carrying the Cruiserweight division at one point in the Ruthless Aggression era. But I mean, Matt Hardy winning, I mean, it didn't mind me either way who won because I love them both. So, I mean, it was a very dirty way for Matt Hardy to finish the match. I mean, when Ray hit the 619, I really thought it would have been over. But I believe Matt Hardy hit a counter, and, you know, the ref didn't see it. And then Matt Hardy literally gave it a very dirty pin by holding the rope when he did a leverage pin and holding the rope to retain the title. I mean, it was upset there, but, I mean, Matt Hardy won it. It's cool.
This next matchup is a handicap match. The Undertaker defeated Big Show and A-Train. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it was normally supposed to be a tag team match because Undertaker's partner was supposed to be Nathan Jones, who was this very jacked Australian athlete, which he got attacked by Big Show and A-Train backstage. If you don't remember A-Train, he was also Albert, Tensai, even now he's a current trainer in the Performance Center. But I mean, it would have been better as a handicap match, in my opinion, because Undertaker should never be in a tag team match at WrestleMania because of the streak. I mean, Undertaker's streak was in trouble, but thankfully, A-Train was pretty much doing most of the work and kicking ass in the back. Big Show barely did shit.
Oh, wow.
Big Show really didn't throw one hitter punch. Really, he got his ass kicked. Like, A-Train was dominating, like, with Undertaker. But Undertaker kept reversing. Undertaker got up, and Limp Bizkit even made a performance and saying, "Keep rolling, 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 rolling.
Keep rolling, rolling.
Rolling, rolling, rolling."
Yes, keep rolling,
He
rolling,
really
rolling.
did that night. He even sang the original theme song of the show, which was Crackadict, which is a good song as well. Maybe we'll review one of his albums on the Moshcast. Who knows? But Nathan Jones did come out later in that fight and help Undertaker win the match. And Undertaker hit a good old sharp tombstone on A-Train, and that gave Undertaker the dub, as he should.
This was a pretty good handicap match. I enjoyed the action of these three.
And that made Undertaker 11-0.
11-0 at WrestleMania. Yeah, he had a streak going during that time. So again, a nice handicap match, an incredible performance between these three competitors. And the next one is a triple threat match. Trish Stratus defeated Victoria and Jazz.
All three of those ladies really had a great performance. I mean, Victoria was managed by Steven Richards. I mean, all three of the women really performed well that night, like in that triple threat match. I thought that triple threat match would have been shorter than that, but no. I mean, I was very impressed the way of the chemistry all three of the women had. It was great to see, like, when Trish Stratus gave a bulldog right to Steven Richards when Steven Richards was trying to cheer on how Victoria, but that failed. Then Trish Stratus got to end it off. I thought Victoria would actually retain, but no. I mean, Trish Stratus was the most classic one out of three, and I feel like she was the right one to win, even though all three were probably some of the best women in the Ruthless Aggression era. And Jazz, I don't know if she's still in Impact or not, but she's currently bald now. But that's all I'm going to say about Jazz. And it was great to even see Victoria return in the Rumble this year, which was cool as well. But, I mean, Trish Stratus was the shit at the time. Trish Stratus was the hottest stuff around, so definitely she was the right person around. I mean, she had a good pop at Mania, but, very good triple threat match again. Great performance by all three of these women.
Yep, indeed, a great performance between these three competitors. Great storytelling and great action here. So next up, Team Angle defeated Chris Benoit, Rhino, and Los Guerreros, which is Chavo and the late great Eddie Guerrero.
When were Chris Benoit and Rhino ever a tag team? Literally, that triple threat tag team match, I'm trying to remember absolutely everything. Eddie and Benoit were literally running into each other literally almost the entire time. Like, every time they went after each other, they just run into each other. I didn't hate the match at all. I thought it was a very good triple threat tag team match. But, it was a good steal that Shelton Benjamin made later that match. Is him and Charlie Haas were the world's greatest tag team. I always loved the Green Attire by Los Guerreros, which they performed in that night. And especially, still trying to remember, it's good to have the uncle and the nephew be a tag team as well with the Guerrero bloodline. And, the triple threat tag team match, there was 2 triple threat tag team matches that night for both tag titles. But, it's just weird to see, like, when were Benoit and Rhino ever a tag team? And I think that was Chris Benoit's first Mania match, I think.
Yeah. Chris Benoit and Rhino, I never knew when they were a tag team.
forgot how that match even ended. I think Rhino gored him or something. Rhino gored one of them, and then
I don't have
Benjamin
anything to
laid
say
the
on this
pin.
match.
I mean, I forgot everything that happened in this match.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say on this match, so I'm gonna pass on. So, anything else for you to say?
No.
Alright, I'll just move on then. Shawn Michaels defeated Chris Jericho. Go ahead.
That was definitely one of the better matches on the card. Them two showed a great story. That there was a great 5-star match.
One of the best matches
the
of
build
the
up
night.
to this match, the build up with this match was incredible. Like Jericho was trying his best to be the next Shawn Michaels and try to be like Shawn Michaels, try to do everything Shawn Michaels did in his career. Then Chris Jericho talks about that he wants to end his career. Like Chris Jericho had to be an asshole, like giving this young girl a walls of Jericho. Then Shawn Michaels tried to be the hero and all that, and then Jericho failed and made him bleed. And I knew during the match, I mean, a lot of amazing chemistry to it. I mean, it went from like a sweet chin music, Jericho kicking out of it. I thought Michaels would actually end it by giving him an elbow, but no. I mean, the match ended by Michaels doing a leverage pin to Jericho, which Jericho failed to kick out at. And I mean, Jericho was going to act off, pretend to be respectful about supporting Michaels for his win, and then that led to Jericho kicking Michaels in the balls, and then that led to Jericho being a poor sport. But I mean, them two really had a great build. I mean, I love the build up to this fight. I mean, it was definitely one of the best matches that night, in my opinion.
For sure.
I mean, the Michael's entrance was really good. Is when he had like the confetti guns shot up to the fans, even though the first confetti gun was failed to shoot, but that's whatever. But I mean, but rest of that, I mean, the match really told its story.
It really told a story, and I agree, it's one of the best matches of the night. Great storytelling and great chemistry between these two competitors.
That's what you say every match, Jason.
Thanks for pointing that out. I'll keep saying it.
Good.
Okay. Triple H defeated Booker T. It was a good match. Go ahead.
I think that was definitely, I mean, Booker T told a really good story this match because, Booker T had a really tough life growing up, as Booker, I mean, Triple H just started Evolution at the time. And I do remember, I hear Booker T, I mean, was locked in bars, he had a hard time growing up. I mean, Booker T was the youngest one out of 7 kids, and his mother had to raise them all on her own until Booker's mom died when he was in elementary school. I mean, Booker T had a really tough time in life growing up and all, and I feel like that showed it all that Booker T really deserved that match against Triple H more than anything. I mean, I'm glad Booker T actually had the opportunity to go against him. Like, if WWE does the next move releases, Booker T should return wrestling. But, I mean, Triple H was managed by Ric Flair, so Ric Flair had some dirty tricks to help Triple H win that fight. I mean, the fight was really brutal. Triple H worked really hard on getting Booker T's knee really hurt and paralyzed there, and Booker T did a huge front flip off the rope and effed up his knee even more. But, I thought the match was pretty good. I mean, it went pretty... I thought the match went pretty well. I mean, Triple H retained the title, but I mean, it would have been nice to see Booker, but the reason I'm sure they didn't do that is because they want to stick with Booker being 5 time. But yeah, Booker T's always a legend. So.
For sure.
But Triple H won.
Triple H won. Congrats. And I'll give my short take. It was a good match.
And great storytelling.
Oh, shut up. All right.
Which it did.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan, Evan's favorite. Hulk Hogan defeated, God damn it, Vince McMahon. Mr. McMahon. Great storytelling. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
What did you think about the match?
It was a good match. Go ahead.
Okay, my thoughts on the match, I'm going to really explain it better. So basically, Hulk Hogan, I'm glad that match, I feel like that could have been the main event because, it was 20 years in the making, them two have made WrestleMania to what it is and WWE to what it is. Like Vince saying that he owns Hulkamania because he's the reason why Hulk Hogan had a job in WWE, and Hulk Hogan saying he's the owns Hulkamania, and the true owner of Hulkamania is because Hulk Hogan made Hulkamania what it is, and Hulk Hogan started it all. But Hulkamania was a huge draw at the time. Vince and Hulk Hogan were always on great terms until like some issue happened, and then Hogan left WWE to sign to WCW. Then Hogan returned, and then Vince gets all pissy with him. I remember 10 days before their match on an episode of SmackDown, I remember at the contract signing, I remember Hulk Hogan ended up bleeding and shit, and Vince got his ass kicked. Vince kicked his ass and then literally made Hulk Hogan sign the contract in blood. And the match, and the match personally, we didn't hear the theme song "Real American" that night. It was like some kind of other theme song Hogan had, but them two really, this really had a match that really kind of needed to happen at WrestleMania at some point. It was 20 years in the making. But, but then, I know the match literally it got very violent and stuff. They both ended up bleeding. Hulk Hogan accidentally chair shot one of the Spanish commentators, which literally busted his head open. And of course, they broke that damn Spanish announce table with Vince jumping off of the ladder and Hogan
jumping off the ladder.
And then that led to them getting in the ring. It was a very bloody battle with both of them. But it could have worked as the main event, in my honest opinion. But Hulk Hogan was winning because if Hogan didn't win, he would be forced to retire. But after Hogan won the match, Shane came out and did absolutely nothing. And then Vince did the same thing he did to Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 22.
Oh, okay. Now I bet this next match is another good one, another classic one.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
The Rock defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin.
The third time at WrestleMania.
The third time at WrestleMania.
WrestleMania 14 to WrestleMania 17 to WrestleMania 19.
All those
who won the first WrestleMania that they fought in? Austin. Who won WrestleMania 15? Austin. Who won WrestleMania 17? Austin, because Austin kept chair shotting The Rock because of Austin selling out. Austin sold out that night because him and Vince aligning was something we never thought would happen. The Rock. The Rock played as the heel and Austin played his face. The Rock just came back from Hollywood. He had that Hollywood gimmick going on, a new theme song, a new look, his new personality. The Rock even made a promo saying, "Do you all want to boo The Rock?" The Rock made the fans choose, which The Rock turned heel, and The Rock still had in 2003. And literally, the build up to this, showed it all. This was Austin's last ever match. And to that, The Rock kind of had to win that match because I feel like if Austin beat him again, The Rock would never wrestle again. The Rock kind of had to win that match. It took literally at the end. They really, really, really put it on them. Both men really killed it, and especially the fact that the Rock wore Stone Cold's jacket in that match, and it literally took The Rock for a people's elbow. The Rock tried to give him a people's elbow. It didn't work because Austin reversed it. Rock put him in one rock bottom. Didn't work. Put him in another rock bottom. Didn't work. A people's elbow didn't work. Another rock bottom didn't work. Another rock bottom. It worked. It took 4 rock bottoms and a people's elbow to get rid of Austin.
A hectic match there.
Very hectic match. I mean,
Yeah, that and the fact that it's a classic rivalry here.
very classic WrestleMania. 2 of the most iconic wrestlers in professional wrestling history going at it.
Going at it at the Showcase of the Immortals.
I mean, like,
Shrug.
I forgot what I was going to add here.
Say good storytelling, as I say.
All I remember, and I do remember. Oh, that was the wrong storyline because I was about to say Rock and Hogan actually had a match at No Way Out in 2003, but Vince fucked that up, not Austin.
Yeah, so I guess we can move on to the main event.
Yeah, I mean, The Rock had to win that match.
Mm-hmm.
But then, literally shortly after, The Rock goes back to Hollywood.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that started The Rock. I mean, The Rock's heel turn literally started his journey to Hollywood to where he's at today.
So yeah, Brock Lesnar defeated You Suck. You Suck. Kurt Angle. Why don't you go ahead?
I mean, it kind of was odd. I feel like Brock and Kurt both deserved to be in the main event that night, but I didn't think it was the right match to main event. I mean, Hogan and McMahon or Austin's last match would have been the right way to main event. But we've seen
Rock versus
Austin and Rock
Austin
main
is-
event. Like, we've seen Rock and Austin main event WrestleMania a couple times. But, I mean, Brock Lesnar was the next big thing. Brock Lesnar won the Royal Rumble that year. Hopefully, we do review Royal Rumble 2003 at some point. But, I mean, they did a lot of grappling in that match, I know. I just watched the highlights because I'm trying to remember what happened in the match. But, I feel like the build-up was very decent, but, as they do, Brock had that very shocking pop of the shooting star press onto Angle that night and whatever else. I mean, Brock did have that shooting star press on Angle, and I mean, Brock was the right decision to win, even though, I mean, if it was going to be Brock to win that match, it should have been his first WWF title, but that happened the year before after defeating The Rock at WrestleMania at SummerSlam 2002, which you already reviewed. Check it out on the channel. But, I mean, Brock defeating Angle wasn't too. I mean, why do I have so much brain damage?
That's me too, right now.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like Brock winning, the right person won. I mean, Brock and Angle have had so many great matches in SmackDown. They were both carrying SmackDown in that time period, which they did have a very good Iron Man match at that point. But of course, the way it ended, Brock winning and then Angle shaking his hand and raising his hand up and handing the title to the new champion. So, I mean, I thought the match was really good. I just seen like there was a lot of grappling and all. A German suplex, 2 and F5, an Angle lock, and so on. I mean, it was a good match. Let's get to the rankings.
It was good.
For that, the Miller Lite girls even appeared that night and had a cat fight with Stacy Keibler and Tori Wilson, which that didn't happen, but that led to Jonathan Coachman having his pants pulled off.
Wow.
Okay.
So if this was a good match and all, but Rock versus Austin deserved the main event spot.
I mean, Brock deserved the WrestleMania main event spot indeed, but I just think maybe Hogan or McMahon or Austin or Rock should have been main event that night, but whatever.
Yeah, I'll give this like a 9.5 or 10. Either one, so you.
10 out of 10, great WrestleMania.
10 out of 10? Alright. So, thanks for watching the review of the 19th annual Showcase of the Immortals. WrestleMania. Just trying to say how Vince says it. But, we hope you all enjoyed and subscribe to here and the Moshcast. So, our next episode is the Extreme Rules predictions, and do you want to announce the other one?
Extreme Rules 2010 review, which is next Saturday.
So after the predictions episode, pretty much. Yeah, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our Extreme Rules predictions.
Bye.
You go. Outro.
Yeah, and also, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. You can check this episode out on Peacock. Go follow all the podcast members on their socials. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, leave a like, and give us your thoughts on the pay-per-view. And also stand my Undertaker shirt.
All right, we'll see you then for the Extreme Rules predictions. Bye-bye.
Ah!
Crush and burn!